We are live. Good evening, good evening, good evening.
Hello.
Welcome to She Shows Up. I am your host, Nia Weeks from Citizens She United. And I'm just going to jump right in because we have been like tinkering backstage for the last few minutes. I am really excited about the woman that I have on today. Alicia, or Dr. Alicia Reed, because I give people their titles. Dr. Alicia Reed is more than the pharmacist that you all know her to be. And she's like this dynamic human being that like takes living to a whole nother level. And Alicia has always been like that. She has always lived life to its best, to its most extreme. I'm always clear when I see you, Alicia, that you are doing exactly what you want to do to the level that you want to have it done. And I've appreciated that about you so much. So I am introducing the world, my friend, not the world, because I already know you, but I'm welcoming you to She Shows Up. Welcome, Alicia, and thank you for joining.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. We finally made this happen.
Right? This is like something that we've talked about quite a bit, over the last few months. You have taken an incredible journey, Alicia, these last few months. And there are tidbits that you and I have talked about and things that you have said that have given me life when you didn't even realize it. And like watching you over the last few months has been just incredible. And watching a journey of, I hate the word resiliency because sometimes I think resiliency ignores what we're going through in the process, but it's been a beautiful story of being honest and true to your process. And so I want to thank you for that.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you
so much. So Alicia, I have given like my caveat to tell them who you are and just give them a little bit of snippet of who you are. And where you
all right. So I am Alicia Reed, also known as NOLA Bougie, and now Fly with Alicia Reed. So I am a widow, a mom, a pharmacist, and an entrepreneur, I guess. And I would say, just as Nia said, I am a woman who lives life to the fullest and, wakes up every day just making sure that I do what I want to do. I feel good about it and I don't apologize for it. So we talked about it, it's just unapologetic. And I just want to inspire other women to do the same.
Absolutely.
To wake up every day and just, show up as your best self.
Yep, there we go. Alicia, can you tell us a little bit about NOLA Bougie? And I will say, NOLA Bougie is a special kind of bougie because NOLA Bougie has its, we got our ratchet flavor, we got our, then we got our sophisticated flavor.
Right. See, I had to bring out my shirt. I had to put on my black and bougie shirt today.
Yes.
But so NOLA Bougie was actually founded in 2014. And the thought behind it was I wanted to inspire women to become their best selves by, living their best lives. And immediately in 2014, I had been married for a year. Hadn't had a baby yet, but it was more about listening to people say, make sure you enjoy your life. Once you get married, things change. Then do everything you want to do before you have a baby, because then your life changes. And I thought to myself, people really believe that. Like people really believe that, when they get married or when they have kids or when they accept a job that, their life has changed. And they say it in such a way that it's sad. It's like you can't be happy and you can't do these things. So I said, oh my goodness, like that's not going to be me. And when I was pregnant with Mojo, everybody said, oh my goodness, that 7:00 hair appointment on Saturday is going to be gone. You're not going to go to the hairdresser. You're not going to go to the spa. And I just said, you know what? I got to show women how it's done.
Yes.
So NOLA Bougie was born. And, just like we discussed, for me, NOLA Bougie is a different kind of bougie. And I've said this before because, bougie for me isn't bad. Bougie isn't a bad thing. I have the song, the Lil Migos song, but for me, bougie isn't bad. Bougie is a state of mind. and it's about wanting what's best for you. So, what's best for me may not be what's best for you. But it's, you going after what you want. And I say I'm NOLA bougie because, I'm from New Orleans, and my bougie is, okay, yes, I might want a steak. So yeah, I'm gonna go get me a nice, nice steak. But then I might want a po' boy. When jeans was open, I might want a hot sausage po' boy. So it's like NOLA bougie. I'm gonna go get the best po' boy, for my experience. So it's just NOLA bougie was just, a movement that was created to just inspire women to just live their best lives.
I love that. And, especially for Black women, Alicia, because Black women were taught to like put ourselves last, to put community first, to think about everybody else's needs besides our own. And so that's a radical thought, Alicia, especially for Black women to think like, actually, I want something dope, and I want to prioritize me wanting something dope. Why do you think, like, especially, in the South, right? We're raised to be like respectable about other people. So why do you think we're raised like that? And what impact do you think that has on us as we grow up?
I mean, and just with the definition of bougie, it's just, most people use it as a negative, description. So it's like you describe someone, oh, she thinks she's better than me. She's bougie. And it's just like, I think that's just how growing up people were taught, because, someone wanted better for themselves, then, they were comparing, oh, she want to be white. Oh, she want to do, this. She wants to, she talks proper. Or, she wants her to do this. So she's bougie. She thinks she's better than, us. So I think, growing up, especially in New Orleans, and we can go on about this whole, like I always talk about Creole.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Alicia, let's talk.
And it was just like, Creole, it was like everybody, oh, I'm not Black, I'm Creole, and it's like people were using that to, as, being bougie and being better, better than anyone else. And I just think that that's how that definition came about. And for me, it was just about changing it and like redefining it and using it as something that wasn't bad. It doesn't make you better than, it's just, but just it's something to embrace.
Yeah. No, I agree. And I appreciate, you saying like defining what is best for you, defining what is bougie for you. Sometimes, some people think traveling is bougie.
Right.
Right. That's a level of a little swag. Some people find value in clothes, right? And like, that's they bougie. But I love the idea of defining what the best is for you and then going after that. I also think that pushes back on some of this ideology that we have in New Orleans around class and hue, right? People associate a negative connotation with people who have been passing or Creole community and like they think that they're better than, and we do a lot of othering with that. Tell me like how you navigate around when people say that, when people are talking about, New Orleans, like, are you just talking about Seventh Ward Creole New Orleans? Are you just, how do you make sure people understand that NOLA bougie is all encompassing and for everyone?
No, I mean, I just let people know, it's for everybody, and immediately that was one of the things that I was, faced with, as soon as the brand, was created. A lot of people, there were people who, didn't like the brand because they felt that it was, promoting, a certain group of women, just saying, okay, well, I'm bougie. And I was like, that's not it at all. I had to go and explain, that's not what, I'm thinking about at all. It's just that it was a play on, okay, bougie and then NOLA bougie. Yeah. And then once women started to realize what I was about and what the movement was about, they got it. Because it was just about, you can, whatever class you're in, whatever, level of education you have, whatever skin color, you are, you can be bougie.
Yeah.
And I had to stop people and say, why do you think that's bad? Like, why, I just walked around and asked that question one day and just said, can you tell me what bougie is? And it was just the amount of the responses, how everyone had the same negative, response. And it was just like, why do people think that? Yeah. And, that was my mission, to really try to change that, but then also have women feel good about themselves. They're like, oh, I'm being bougie today. I went to the spa, or, I took care of myself, because I tried to push self-care as
Yes.
a part of it. And it is, I wanted, especially amongst Black women, like I wanted to use that as an entryway to have Black women, recognize that we need to take care of ourselves.
I love
And it,
I love that so much, Alicia. I love it so much. So, and you tell me if I'm overstepping in any
no,
way.
no.
So I'm leading with that. You had a little bit of a tough year
Hmm.
in December. I know when I saw that space, we grew up with Mo.
Right.
Mo was like our people. Mo was, not just a lawyer. I don't know if a lot of people know how radical of a lawyer Mo was, and Mo was like pushing things. When we talk about in this movement, Mo would have been right there
Right.
in the heart of it. And like, I'm clear about that, from my friend and your husband. And so, that I don't want you to dive deeper than you,
Oh no, that's
but like, what was it like living in that house with a partner that you knew was just as bougie as you, and like rock the scene, and you rock the scene together?
and I'm gonna tell you, like he was like Mo was bougie bougie. Like I'm just, if you know my husband, it was just like, just like the stories that I would hear, and his closet. Like when I was trying to move and consolidate things, he had more clothes than I did, and he was into fashion, and he would tell me, "Oh, that doesn't match," or you don't wear those shoes with that. So I was like, "What?" But he was just full of life, and when he passed, it was when someone says to live your life to the fullest,
Mhm.
he lived his life to the fullest. Like when we did his celebration of life, I didn't want to do a sad service. It was because I know that he didn't have any regrets. Like when he closed his eyes, he lived every single day as if it was his last. And that was something that he tried to, like instill in me, like, you gotta live, you gotta live, you gotta live. And I was like, no, I gotta worry about this, I gotta worry about that. But Mo would wake up and be like, okay, my schedule's clear. Let's go to Vegas tomorrow. And I'm like, I can't do that. I have a job and we have a kid, but that was just the type of person that he was. And just like our bishop, our pastor says, he was a risk taker and he wasn't afraid to like bet on himself,
Yeah.
and it was just like him. I just look at it like what he left me with is like what I want to continue
Yeah.
and how I want to, honor his legacy. And I feel like that part of him is really living through me now,
Yeah.
with everything that I'm doing right now.
I love that. And, I'm watching, I get to watch all the time your little stories. And how you guys are navigating through. And I'm just like, I've just been really impressed with like your moments of honesty and your moments of like, celebration, but like also moments of honesty. Like it is not a good day. And, how do you navigate with those days, Alicia? Like what, how do you make sure that you're still living to your fullness, but also being honest about where you are?
I mean, I think it's important to acknowledge, your emotions, especially, being on a grief journey. Grief is not linear. It's, it's all over the place. You have good days, bad days. And I share that with everyone because I want people to know what's real.
Yeah.
Social media has a tendency to be a highlight reel. So you see everybody's good times and, you also get caught up in, oh my gosh, she lives the life. And, I want to do that. And and it's like, wait a minute, like, let me show you the whole story, and then that's kind of like where I am now, where I want people to know I do have bad days, but I also have a 5-year-old that is watching me.
Yeah.
And, I'm living for him too. So it's like, we cry, we talk about Mo, but, and we get up and we continue.
Yeah.
So, it's like I have my days every day. Every day I think about my husband, but it's just I have to keep going.
Yeah.
And, I do have days and I share that where, today isn't a good day. But like I turned in Mondays to Mo Monday.
Yeah.
So Mondays are my hardest days. My husband passed on a Monday. So every Monday I relive and, think about what happened. So I said, on Mondays, I'm going to turn this into Mo Monday. I'm going to post a picture of him and like turn that into a happy moment. And it's worked so far. So,
I love it. I could see a Mo Monday being like a goblet with like some,
Yes.
hey, what I'm saying? We all put on like a big pink bow tie and a yellow shirt.
You know,
Like,
I was laughing because I was like, if he was here, he probably would have trademarked it. He probably would have said, "Wait, stop posting Mo Monday. So wait till I file it." Because that's how he was. Don't post that until we figure out, if we want to trademark it or not. That's just the kind of person he was.
that is so real. And I've also seen, and I'm only talking about two more things that we're going to move.
Oh, okay.
But you penned an amazing letter, Leisha, about talking about grief and talking about the reality of grief and how, my grief doesn't look like your grief and that we should respect how people navigate through grief. Can you tell me the thought process that went into you penning the letter and why you felt the need to write that letter at that time?
Absolutely. Obviously, I'm a young widow. So I'm a widow at 40. And, most of the time we think about widows being later, in age, maybe 70s or 60s. So naturally, my life is not over, and still have a lot of years ahead of me. And I felt like, I didn't have to have this grief journey like everyone else. Like everyone grieves on their own terms. And that's what I kept saying. This is my grief on my own terms. So my husband enjoyed his life. I know that he wouldn't want me to wake up every day and be sad and wear black and not go anywhere or not do anything. Right. So for me, it was just important to share that, grief, there is no right or wrong way to grieve. There is no timetable. Right. And I wanted, other widows to know that, and not just widows, but anyone else who's grieving to know that it's your own journey. You can do whatever you want, honor your loved one however you wish, and you don't really have to explain anything to anyone. You don't owe anyone an explanation. So I told you it's about just being unapologetic.
Yes. I'm sure that navigating that space with a small child, right? Who looks like his daddy.
Oh yeah. It's like he left like a spitting image. Like it's like, okay, yes, your daddy. Yeah, your daddy.
Which I also love the Father's Day gifts that you all started with the paintings.
Yes.
I can only imagine how much joy that must give you all. But what is it like navigating with Mojo? And what advice would you give people who are navigating grief, not just by losing a loved one, but we have women out there that have loved ones that are incarcerated that they're not able to see, but just removed from life. What advice would you give other women? I
think honesty. Be honest. I know for me, it was just like, what do I do? What do I tell him? And we started therapy immediately, and the therapist's recommendation is you be honest. You tell the truth, and it's like you say, what happened. He passed around Christmas. So it's just like, oh my God, this is horrible. What do I do? What do I say? And it's just, you just have a conversation and you just let, my son was 4 at the time, but you just explain, daddy passed, he's not coming back. He's in heaven, and just be honest. And then also express your feelings, from immediately, I didn't want to cry in front of my son, or I didn't want to be sad. And it was just like, let me wait. But their kids need to see you expressing feelings as well, because they want to be sad too, but they're not showing their emotion because they don't want to make you sad. So it's like you're both sitting there holding it all in. And when I started expressing my feelings with Mojo, it was just like, we would have these little crying sessions together, and then it'd be over and done with, and we kind of move on. But it's just, you got to let that happen.
Yeah. That's so real, Leisha. When you talk about showing kids emotion and allowing them to show emotion back, I know especially for Black women and Black community, we teach each other and we're taught to don't cry in front of your kids, don't let your kids see you cry, don't let your kids see you feel this way. And I'm like, no, I actually cry in front of my kids so they can see adults get sad, and then they can see the process of us moving forward and getting out of it. When they ask, why are you crying? I'm crying because I'm sad.
Right.
I'm crying, I'm sad because it's hard and I'm hurting. I do agree with having those honest communication with kids. How healing do you think that could be if more, especially more Black parents, more Black moms, allowed ourselves to feel the things that we're feeling and then express that and show that to our kids in our community? Like how beneficial do you think that would be for us?
I mean, I definitely think it'd be beneficial. I mean, it would help so much. And like Nia, like what I tell women all the time, and I've said it so many times, like on my posts, stop telling me I'm strong.
Yes.
We say that all the time. I'm a strong Black woman. You're a strong Black woman. So it's like you're thinking, oh, I can't cry. And not just cry. I can't say that I'm overwhelmed. I can't say that have anxiety. I can't say that I'm depressed because I got to be this strong Black woman.
Right.
And that's generational. So it's like, down from grandmothers, great grandmothers telling you, girl, you better be strong.
Yep.
So it's like it needs to start now, where we're letting our daughters and our nieces know that it is okay to acknowledge that you're, depressed or have anxiety or, you need help.
Yes.
It is okay. It does not diminish you. Yeah. And I think that is so important.
That is so real, Alicia. Like I get frustrated when I hear that, like that strong Black woman. I'm like, don't tell me that, because that dismisses everything.
Yeah, right. But that's why I think I have to tell people I'm not strong. I'm surviving. Yeah. I am surviving. It's the people. So everybody that knows me knows. Don't tell her she's a strong woman. Please don't tell her that. Don't tell her that.
It's not gonna get a good result. But that's also real, though. Like there's so much we dismiss, we push back, we hold. Because we think we have to be strong for everybody else. But like, it's hard to find people who are going to hold us in that way. And so like, that's really dope. But you had, Mo held you in that way. You still feel, because I feel my mama's anniversary for her passing was 5 years ago yesterday. And there are moments I'm like, I see you, Wanda.
Right.
I know you've got to see and feel him sometimes.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I saw that said immediately after his passing, I felt like his buses were chasing me, because I was like, everywhere, I went, I saw a bus pass by or I saw a billboard. And even just like in day to day, the signs are there, and I don't know if a lot of people believe in, signs or, feeling presence. But for me, I totally believe in it. Yeah. And I think, I know that his presence, is with me. And it's the reason why I'm able to wake up each day and like, and continue to move on. Like I, told so many people, like, I don't know how I am like, 7 months in, and it's like, I'm moving and, continuing to do things. And I feel like it's him that's like, keep going and, no, this is what you're going to do. This is your path. And, I just know that that's him.
That's real.
Yeah.
When I was in high school, I remember one of my close friends, her grandfather had passed away. The grandmother did not cry very much. And everybody was like, why is she not crying? And she said, I actually have no regrets. I said everything I want to say to him. I did everything I wanted to do. And I feel good. I'm going to miss him. But I feel like I can continue my life because I've done, those things. And I think that, I've been trying to have honest conversation with people I love, even my kids, that like, no matter what happens tomorrow, just know that I feel good about where I am, what I've done, who you are. And, and I feel like, and correct me if I'm wrong, that because you and Mo lived.
Yeah. I was like, because this is, it's like the weekend before he had gone to Houston to celebrate. One of our friends had a Christmas party. And then like the following weekend, he bought tickets to the Peach Bowl, whatever, the LSU championship. So it was like, he had it all mapped out, and he was like, I'm going to do this. I'm like, oh, that's great. But it's just like, he was doing everything that, that he wanted to do. So it was just like, I know it was like he lived like each day to the fullest.
I love it. Well, I am sending you grace and love on this journey, Alicia. I'm going to end this part of the conversation.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to talk all about Alicia and all magic, because that is literally what I think about when I see you. You can see a picture of you. Okay, that's where I got to go. Them pictures. Photographer. Where is the setting? Can I get invited to a photo shoot?
Yes. Well, once everything, I have a couple of things that I want to do with women, especially around, my new brand. Once things get, a little bit better.
Yeah.
So yes.
I love it. because those, I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous.
Thank
I mean,
you.
and I'm like, how's she always coming out with a dope picture with a dope outfit? Like what goes, like, how do you put that together, Leisha?
I mean, I've always loved pictures. So it's like I've always liked to take pictures. So it's like now, and it's like I know the whole blogger world is where, people take the pictures and they're like kind of staged. And like for me, I like to do what's called like lifestyle, and it's just like okay, I'm just doing what I'm doing, just snap pictures. But my pictures now, I feel like, and I don't know if a lot of people notice them, but I've incorporated Mo in them. So like a lot of the pictures that I have now, I have on his jewelry, I have on his shirts. So it's like, for me, it's allowing me to just create like just a digital book of, still remembering him. So like for me, those photo shoots, are like just amazing when I get the pictures back and I can see, this was his shirt, and it's a lot of things, shirts that he's worn with us together. So it's like I remember, okay, this is a shirt that he had on here. I still have pictures. So that's what I'm doing, like in my mind, like I'm creating like just memories for me to look back on later. And yeah. So it's like even looking at the pictures, for me, I see, like a whole transformation. Like I can see like in myself, like looking at the pictures, and it's like just a different, I would say, vibe or just aura, from the pictures that I'm taking now.
I love that so much. Yeah. I'm thinking about like how you're incorporating that, and I just appreciate that. So, and you do a lot of social media, like that has been is it hard? Content wise, and then just like I will say, I'm starting to live more of my life on social media, especially post COVID and doing this work, and it is different doing it, content wise, but also allowing people into your life in this way.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's hard. It's maybe hard in the aspect that continuously putting out content. But as far as creating content, one thing that I make sure of is I'm authentic. So it's like my content is really what I'm doing that day or what I'm thinking, or, so it's like, okay, so it's my voice. Like, so it's not like I have to sit down and think, okay, well, what am I going to post today? It's like, okay, this is how I feel. Yeah. This is what I want to say. And it's just more of just putting the pictures there and like the words, like, all the quotes that I have are things that I say, or that I want people to know. So in that aspect, I feel that's my outlet. A lot of people have different things that they do, as their creative outlet. And for me, my creative outlet was always writing. And so social media allows me to, express myself. And that was one of the questions a lot of people had after Mo passed. They were like, oh my gosh, she's on social media, she's working, she's doing this. And one of my best friends had to say that is her outlet. Like, she's a writer, so she is healing through her posts. And like, if you read my posts, it's real. It's me expressing my feelings, for Mo or for whatever's going on in my life. Yeah. So that's like, it's really like my diary or my journal.
I love that. I love that. I did a digital organizing summer camp with Black high school girls this summer called Cyber Justice. And the running theme the entire time was storytelling and owning your narrative. Not allowing anybody else to say who you are or tell who you are, for you to own your narrative. And I see you doing that. What does that mean to you, to be able to own your story and own the product of your story the way you do?
Well, again, it's this, for me, authenticity. And then it's also being able to share my story and help other women. It's just, there's so much that, a lot of people who've been with me, since I started NOLA Bougie know about, just my life then and leading up to now. But, I was writing long before that. So there are things that have happened to me in 2008 that, I haven't even talked about, that, I'm preparing to to share. So it's just, I want to help someone. I want to, inspire women, motivate women. So for me, it's all about just telling the story and then allowing people to see that, I'm a real person just like you are. And, we have the same issues, it's like, and we have something in common.
Yep. That's so real. One thing that I also appreciate, Alicia, is because we were talking to the girls and we were talking about image of Black women, and the distortion of the reality of who we are. It's one thing we taught them was be careful who you follow and be careful, what sites you're on, because if they're giving a distorted narrative, it can even impact you and your heart. Do you think about like the impact, the visual impact of that other young girls may feel when they see you living authentically yourself and living bougie life at the least standard of bougie?
Well, absolutely. I want to, and my followers, my demographics, age range from 25 and up. So it's like I have a lot of college students, or young professionals who, are watching, and, I would want them to see me and see, my challenges and, see how I'm tackling life and my honesty and, take that with them. I always, make sure that, everything that I share is, is genuine. And then lots of times it's advice, and I get, messages saying, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And I just like we talked about before, I like the fact that I can be able to say whatever I want to say. And, it's just who I am. And, just take it as it is.
I love it. You ever have moments, Alicia? Because I think I do sometimes. Like sometimes the girls are like, we do these things, these couch talks and these porch talks, and there are days they're like, Mommy, want to do a porch talk? And I'm like, not today.
Oh, yeah.
Feeling today.
Oh yeah. I mean, I was like, not today. And it's like I took a break. June was a tough month for me, and I took a break, and a lot of people were like, oh my God, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. It's just I just don't feel like it. It's just not today. And it's like, and that's one thing about like boundaries and like just letting people know, like I'll say I'm just not feeling it today. Or, I'm not, I need some time. And I think that's very important. It's all in self-care, just making sure that you are able to step away and acknowledge your feelings. Like if it's something that you don't want to do or you don't feel comfortable doing, just say no. We talked about that yesterday. I said, you have to learn how to say no without explaining yourself. And it's just like, no, not today, and I'll do it next week. And, it's just that's
no, I love that.
Very important.
Because I think that, especially women, we have a hard time saying the no, right? Or giving those limitations on our bodies, our time, and our space. Because we've been taught, we give as much until we don't anymore. Until the unapologetic no.
Right. No, not having it. I'm not doing it. No.
You can't have it. I was thinking about, Alicia, like what you would be doing if COVID wasn't here. And I've been thinking about how you do bougie with COVID. So I'm going to ask both questions. So if there was no COVID, if we were not quarantined, where would Alicia be and what would Alicia be doing? How would Alicia's bougie show up right now?
Well, I would have been traveling. I actually had trips booked in June. So June was already a hard month for me. So I knew I was going to Miami, probably Mexico. I mean, I would still be going, I think. Like I would be traveling because the whole thing was I wanted to document my journey. So I wanted to travel the world because that was Mo. Like that's what Mo would have done. I always say, what would Mo do? So I would have been traveling. That would have been my thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
So what do you do? How does Alicia Bougie show up during COVID? What is self-care?
Let's see. So right now I'm ordering like all this stuff from the internet and Instagram. Like in my stories today, I ordered like the hair umbrella, the little hair thing with the little shield on it, like to cover your hair. Like I ordered that. I feel like that's bougie. So I've been shopping a lot, trying to accessorize these masks with my outfits. Like
there is that. I've seen some really dope, like, I'm like, actually, The mask is cute. And then I get in my brain, I'm like, are we Handmaid's Tale? But it's still like, I like it. It's cute, you know? I have one scarf that says Loudmouth Lawyer that I wear everywhere.
Oh yeah. I think I've seen yours, but yeah, I have sequins, lace, cheetah print. Like I have different ones. And like one day I had the shoes to match. It was just like that kind of stuff. But most importantly, like self-care. I've been really into skincare lately because, you know, we're on these Zooms and people are looking at our faces. So I want to make sure that everything's glowing, and I've been taking care of my hair. So like, I think that's what I've been focusing on, because I told people that we're going to come out of this glowing. Like if you don't come out of this glowing with some healthy hair, we're going to have to talk.
That's so real. In my brain, I'm like, I'm gonna get me some skills in here, you know what I'm saying? And then I do like, I've been biking like hours and like trying to keep up with my yoga the best I can. Yeah. I'm like, I wanna come out COVID sexy.
Oh, I think I got that quarantine 15. I might be pushing 20 right now, and I have a Peloton in my room.
I love it. I did see that. That was like a gift. That was like a Mother's Day gift. What's that?
Myself. Oh, that's another thing. I buy gifts for myself because I figured my husband would have.
I love it.
So I say, let me buy it. No, that was my anniversary gift that I bought myself, the Peloton.
Nice. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. I like it. You know, I've done the Groupon. I've like bought a whole bunch of Groupons and take myself on a date. I'm like, you know, I feel like going to the movies tonight. Let me Groupon me. You know, say I got a little date tonight with myself.
Look, you got to do it. You got to do it.
You do. I I was talking, I do the show Parlay on Sundays with Isaac, also on Loudstream. But, one thing that we talk about is like falling in love and like that whole process. But there's a whole process of falling in love with yourself, Alicia.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
That is just beautiful journey, and it's wonderfully tragic, just like any other love journey. But like when you get to the place where you're like, you're just kind of dope,
right.
It feels so damn good. And when you're able to like do that unapologetically and like resource and invest in that.
You know what that's called, Nia?
It's called NOLA.
No, that's called flying. It's flying. First, love yourself.
That's
flying.
Real.
It's flying.
I love that.
And I mean, that's what I'm doing now. I'm flying. Because Lord, I'm gonna have to come back when we like, because people ask about dating. I'm not thinking about that right now. But Lord Jesus, I'm gonna document that.
Yes.
Actually, Married at First Sight comes on tonight. I read that.
Does it?
And it's here, so I gotta watch that.
That's right. I saw that. Let me tell you, I love that show. I love that show. Like, I have friends that are like, nah, it's on stage. And I'm like, okay, even if it's stage and all that good stuff, I'm into it. I'm into like the idea of like.
No, but you know what? So the thing is, like, like the thinker, like, and me, like critical thinker, and like they use, like, because I read up on it, and like they have professionals who, like, it's not just like a blind thing, like where, you just hook up with two people. They like screen the people. They do like personality testing. Like, so it's like compatibility testing. So like based on like all of these professionals, like this is like the person for you. So I'm like, seriously? Like, I mean, that's better than like finding somebody who might not be, it's like some people got to take their chances. Like, I feel like,
throw your hat in the ring.
Right. But it's New Orleans though, so I feel like that's really small. Like, what are the chances of, that being somebody you dated already, or like somebody your best friend dated, and now y'all married at first sight, and it's like,
isn't that like our lives in New Orleans? Like, I remember in high school, we used,
right.
The pictures. And then we would look at each other, stack of pictures, so we would like who you went with and what your dress looked like.
Right.
And I remember, and I'm not gonna say who it is, but I remember one person stayed on, dated all of my friends. And a prom picture, a homecoming picture, back to school dance picture. I'm just like, everybody get him? But yes.
Was it my husband?
And it's so funny because like your best friend can have like a homegrown picture with your husband.
Right. Like, oh, okay. All right. I didn't know that.
And we move on.
Like, I didn't know that. Okay. Yeah.
It's so funny.
Yeah, it's New Orleans. It's so small.
I will say I love this city so much. And like there's so many things that frustrate me about this city, but like there's something really special about the way we were raised.
Oh yeah.
I think the community that we were raised together in, I went to Earth. Where'd you go to school, Alicia?
I'm sorry?
Where'd you go to school?
In Franklin.
Franklin, okay. So you want smart ones, got it. That's what we do. That's why we ask. We go, okay.
I know people are like, oh, you was a nerd.
Exactly. And so, but we all knew each other.
Yeah.
We all like did the same thing together. I look at I was a debutante with Young Men Illinois, and I still look at those pictures, and I still see, the people that I grew up with. Like there was just something really intentional and special about the way we grew up. That my friends were the children of my parents' friends. Yes. And I think there's a lot of commentary that can be said about that, but at its heart for me growing up and having that connectivity, it to this day means everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
This day means everything. Yeah. Which is like, why, we've been in the same circles, and like
you say it's like everybody knows someone. Like, I think they always say like 6 degrees of separation. Like New Orleans, it's less than that. It's less than that.
Somebody, your parent, cousin, aunt,
right?
Saying taught somebody in school,
right? What is your mama? Oh, that's my cousin. Yeah, so it's like yes.
And there's a comfort in that. Yes. There's there's a space that you can come back to. And you're like, no, this is home. And New Orleans, I tell people, it gets in your blood. The rhythm. Your body moves to the same rhythm, and we all kind of navigate with this love, this unapologetic love for each other, regardless of what's going on. And I've loved and appreciated that about the city so much.
Well, I think that's why so many people love to visit, and it's like because of that. When they visit, they see it and they feel it.
That's real. And I always say, like, if you don't catch the heartbeat, you just don't have a heart.
Yeah. You don't belong here then. You don't belong.
You either catch it or you don't.
Yeah, you don't.
You know what I'm saying? Then I guess you're going to put hot dogs in your gumbo.
Not the hot dogs.
Have you seen those videos?
I have. Yeah, I have.
It hurts my heart. I'm like, don't even. Just let us have what we have.
That is not gumbo.
I don't even have my gumbo. I got my cousin's gumbo and I got my grandma's gumbo. Like I have those recipes. I don't have my own gumbo recipe though. Yeah. I don't have my, patty recipe. Like I have theirs. You know what I'm saying? And that's been like passed on, through my family, but I don't have my own. And that's how people who just make up stuff on their own. That's not
because you just like the potato salad. Who made the potato salad? See, like for me, like my mother-in-law's gumbo is like the best. So we always, we'll wait for her to make it. But my husband used to joke all the time because he'd be like, "This ain't my mama gumbo," and I'm like, "It's just not my mama gumbo." I'm gonna tell you, Mom, did you make that? And she's like, "Oh no, not this year." And she's like, "I know how my mama gumbo tastes."
That's real.
But if it's like store-bought gumbo, if it's somebody said,
Yes, and like restaurant gumbo, unless it's like Little Dizzy's or it's Dickie Chase.
Munch Factory has good gumbo.
Munch Factory, that's not.
Yeah.
All black-owned restaurants in New Orleans. Just
I see a little tomato in there. I don't know.
Them little bitty shrimp, I'm good.
No, not the little shrimp out the pack.
Oh, Alicia. I love you. I'm also excited about some of the things that we've been talking about.
Yes.
There's going to be some little pixie dust coming down in the future, so I'm excited about that so much. So I'm going to let you have last word, Leisha. Is there anything that you want people to know, feel, understand before we hop off?
I just like we talked about. It's just important to fly. Just first love yourself before you can love anyone else. I mean, and that's your children, your friends, your family. You have to first love yourself.
That's real.
And, I want everybody to put themselves first, at the beginning of the day, like wake up and then, make sure you do what you need to do for yourself.
That's
and
real.
I think a lot of people don't do that. And now is the time.
Love that. That is so real. I love you.
Love you too.
So grateful to you. Thank you for sharing yourself, your story, all the pieces of who the beautiful Dr. Alicia Reed is.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Like I'm just so happy. Thank you all so much for tuning in to She Shows Up. We are on Loudstream now, so check us out at Loudstream Media, Loudstream NOLA. On Sunday, we have Parlay with Isaac, so tune in at 11 o'clock on Sunday. But I will see you at She Shows Up next Wednesday at 5 o'clock. Have a wonderful evening.
Bye.